For weeks, I had sensed a shift in our relationship. Little things that I used to overlook now seemed out of place. Missed calls, vague excuses, and ever-present tension whenever I entered his office. I convinced myself it was just stress, a project taking its toll, deadlines piling up. But deep down, a knot of unease had begun to form in my chest, a silent warning I could no longer ignore. It was a Monday morning when everything became undeniable. The office smelled of freshly brewed coffee and polished wood, a facade of normalcy that did nothing to mask the undercurrents of deceit. I walked past the reception, nodded to the secretary, and made my way to his office. I had always admired his charm and confidence, the way he carried himself, commanding the room without needing to raise his voice. But today, that admiration was tangled with suspicion. I knocked lightly, hearing the usual come in, but the atmosphere felt different. There was laughter, soft, familiar, yet completely out of place in a professional setting. I paused, listening, my heart beginning to race. The voices were unmistakable, the kind that instantly triggers a sense of dread. One voice, low and controlled, clearly his. Another, light and almost playful, belonged to someone else. I stepped inside, feigning casualness, and froze. The scene before me shattered everything I had believed about him. She was there, smiling, leaning close, her hand resting on his desk in a way that was far too intimate for the boundaries of an office. His arm encircled her shoulders, protective, possessive, a subtle claim that no one should witness but was now visible in stark daylight. I felt my chest tighten, each beat pounding like a warning drum in my ears. For a moment, I thought I had imagined it. Maybe it was just a friendly gesture, a moment of misplaced comfort. But the way he looked at her, the softness in his eyes, the barely contained smile, left no room for doubt. This wasn't friendship. This was a betrayal, deliberate and careful, the kind that lingers in memory far longer than a mistake. I want to confront him immediately, to demand an explanation, to rip the illusion apart. But something inside me urged patience, a cold rationality that told me to observe, to understand the depth of what had been happening while hiding my knowledge. I retreated to the corner of the room, pretending to scroll through emails on my phone, every nerve alert, every sense tuned to the subtle shifts of their interaction. Minutes passed like hours. Each laugh, each glance, each gentle touch was magnified in my mind, and I felt a mixture of anger and disbelief. How could he, someone I had trusted, someone I believed would never betray me, allow this? And why had I not seen it coming? The questions were endless, looping in my thoughts like a record stuck on a single, devastating note. Finally, she left. The door closed behind her, the echo of her departure lingering in the air like a haunting melody. He turned to me, his expression casual, a mask of normalcy I could no longer believe in. "I didn't expect anyone here," he said, a tone light, almost careless. I looked at him, my hands clenching at my sides, the weight of what I had witnessed pressing down like a physical force. I didn't speak immediately. Words would have been inadequate, powerless against the storm of emotions raging inside me. Instead, I took a deep breath, steadying myself, allowing the initial shock to settle into a sharp, cold clarity. This was not a moment of heat, a fleeting lapse in judgment. This was intentional, repeated, and it demanded a response measured, calm, and indelible. I spoke finally, my voice low, deliberate, carrying the gravity of everything I had felt and observed. "Do you want to explain this?" The words were simple, almost mundane, but the implication hung heavy between us. He smiled, the kind of smile that tried to deflect seriousness, but it failed. I could see the guilt, the hesitation, the recognition that his actions had consequences far beyond what he had considered.